Are you looking to become a faster runner, or would you like a nice new PB? Well, over the last 10 years, I've managed to reduce my 5K time down from 27:32 right down to last week I ran a 15-minute PB. And I've managed to devise an 8-step approach which I'm going to share with you today to hopefully help you smash your 5K and other distances. Now, the first and arguably the most important aspect of improving your running times is increasing weekly mileage. Now, this can be either time on the feet or the overall distance that you run. Why is mileage so important? By increasing your volume over a period of time, we are adding progressive overload into your training. Your body and your muscles make adaptations to allow you to then be able to run further and for longer. Now, when we talk about increasing volume, we aren't talking about running really fast all the time. And there is a strategy to be able to run big mileage weeks, but to do so safely. And that's using the 80-20 principle. 80% of your runs are done at a really easy, lower intensity, and 20% are done at that higher race pace intensity. So I use the car analogy. A car has often 5 or 6 gears, and we most often use gears 1, 2, and 3. And in the running scenario, gears 1, 2, and 3, they're your easy everyday training. 80% of your running should be done in gears 1, 2, and 3. It's really important that we use our body and our legs like a car. We've got to make sure we've got 6 working gears and that we're testing out all those gears each week in training. Now, if you don't know what your easy pace is, we can go off heart rate, and to work that out, we can use the MAF 180 formula. That is 180 minus your age. So for me, I'm 28, so 180 minus 28 is 152. 152 would be the maximum heart rate that I would be able to work at in a zone 2 run. I can't stress this point enough. Having big mileage of easy running is one of the fundamentals to being able to run faster. So we've got our aerobic base, and now that volume is into our training, we need to get really sharp. Let's sharpen that blade. How are we going to do that? We're going to do that with 2 big sessions each and every week. But these 2 sessions are completely different to one another. The first is going to be more of a threshold session, and the second is going to be a speed, higher intensity session. Threshold training is when your body is producing lactate quicker than it can remove lactate from the body. And lactate is what causes your body to fatigue. And we do this to push your running ceiling. When we're running with lactate in our legs, that is when our body is making those small improvements to being able to sustain those faster paces for a longer period of time. Now, the second session we want to be doing in the week is a speed session. And by this, I mean working at your top end speed, so in that 6th gear. And we're working at no more than 400 meters at a time. I'm doing those really fast sessions. We know this makes the legs stronger, and we know this is good for technique. So it's really important that in our weeks, we're doing 2 types of speed sessions. Adding hills into your training is one of the most important things that you can possibly do to become a faster runner. There are so many different benefits of running hills. Let's start with what sort of hills you should be doing. Now, there are 2 different types of hill reps that you can do. You can do those shorter hill sprints, 10 to 15 reps of 10 to 15 seconds with 30 seconds rest in between. Or you can do those longer rolling hill reps at a slower pace, more of a tempo effort, but at anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes in duration. Now, the benefit of running up and down the hills is that your heart muscle is having to work a lot harder to deliver the oxygen to those working muscles. Now, this will cause an increase to your aerobic capacity. By running up the hill as well, you're having to exaggerate the movements to just get up the hill. So that arm swing and the knee drive that you need to get up the hill will be improved. And this should hopefully then be translated onto the flat surface, which means that your running economy should improve. If your knees and your arms are driving more on the flat, your running economy increases. With an increased running economy, you can run at faster speeds for less energy. The quadriceps, the glutes and the hamstring, they will be working a lot harder up the hills, and they will be becoming trained, and they will be getting those training adaptations. When you do have a race on the flatter surfaces, it means their time to fatigue has increased significantly. This means that you can run faster for longer. Something I've massively benefited from and adding to my training is adding strides at the end of every single easy run. So what are strides? Well, importantly are not sprints, they're strides. So you're working at about 90 to 95%, 6 to 8 times 10 to 15 seconds worth of faster runs at the end of your workout. And the benefit of doing these is you get some nice speed work into an easier workout. You get those legs turning over and you hopefully improve your running form as a result. You're also doing it on easier days, because if we did them at the end of a harder session when your body is also fatigued, we're putting yourself at risk of becoming injured. It is imperative that you do a long run each and every single week. And it's also as important that your long run is a minimum of 80 minutes. It improves the capillary density. By improving the density of the capillaries, the delivery of oxygen to those working muscles then improves. It toughens up those ligaments and those tendons by becoming more durable over those longer distances. It also does develop that mental toughness that if you can break through running for longer periods of time, you become a mentally much stronger athlete. The long run also does teach your body to use fat as a fuel source. Now this is especially important for those longer races where the glycogen stores might run low. If you practice running longer, your body adapts and gets used to using other sources of fuel for races, and this is essential if you do want to do those longer distances. So moving on to kit then, I would suggest having 2 pairs of running trainers. This is your daily trainer. You will do the vast majority of your runs in this shoe. This is known as a max cushion trainer. It protects your legs from when you're running. When you're landing, it gives you plenty of cushion. It's also important to then have a shoe that you can do some speed work in. A shoe like the Alphafly is perfectly designed for speed. Not only is it important to have a decent running shoe rotation, but it's also important to have a decent pair of socks. I want to have a pair of moisture wicking socks. Now this helps to prevent blisters. Blisters are a combination of moisture and heat. By having socks that are moisture wicking, it reduces the possibility of getting blisters. Investing in a decent pair of socks will go a long way. Now, something that we don't speak about enough in running is activating and mobility. Before we stretch and go for a jog to warm up, we ensure that our muscles are nice and pliable. If we put strain on our muscles when they are cold, they essentially will snap and they become less pliable and the range of motion becomes reduced. By activating, what we're essentially doing is we're warming those muscles up and we're preparing those muscles for a heavy workload. My activation routine takes no more than 5 minutes, and I've put a link to the video down below. And it's the same with mobility. Mobility is as important in my opinion. As runners, our hip flexors, our glutes, our quads, our hamstrings take a battering from the amount of pounding we do on the pavement. It's so important to look after those intricate muscles around the hips and around the lower back. We want to make sure that we can run these big mileage weeks, and by doing simple mobility exercises, we're giving ourselves the best opportunity of being fresh and being supple and mobile for our running. I suggest doing 1 or 2 sessions of 15 minutes each and every week, and I can assure you this will help you so much in the long run. Now, the last and most important point crucially is to do everything we've just spoken about consistently for a long period of time. And this is known as compounding fitness. I can assure you, if you were to do each and every single one of those things, your times will drop significantly. Rome wasn't built in a day, and nor was becoming a faster runner. So those are the 8 steps that I've put together to help you become a much faster runner. If you've got any other suggestions, please do leave them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching and good luck with your training. See you in the next one. Goodbye.